Internal Revenue Service IRS tax news. IRS releases data book for fiscal 2020 describing agency's activities during pandemic. IR 2021-134, June 24, 2021, Washington. The Internal Revenue Service today issued the data book. There's a link to that data book here, detailing the agency's activities during fiscal year 2020, October 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2020. Obviously, there's a lot of activity with the IRS during that time period, the revenue code being a major tool that's used during the pandemic time period. So it'd be interesting to look at all the changes that took place during that point. So, quote, this year's data book describes the important work the IRS employees accomplished on behalf of the public, end quote, said IRS Commissioner Chuck Rettig. Quote, the IRS accounts for approximately 96% of the funding that supports the federal government's operations while proudly serving and interacting with more Americans than any other public or private organization, end quote. Quote, the 2020 data book also details the extraordinary measures the IRS took to protect the health and safety of taxpayers and IRS employees during the COVID-19 pandemic while implementing critical economic relief legislation, the largest economic rescue package in U.S. history, end quote, Rettig added. The data book details how during the COVID-19 pandemic, the IRS developed new technologies and provided the equipment necessary to allow thousands of employees to work from home, which enabled the IRS to resume processing returns and providing phone assistance to taxpayers. At the same time, the agencies eased burdens on people facing tax issues by extending the deadline to file and pay federal income taxes from April 15, 2020 to July 15, 2020. The agency also launched the People First initiative, which eased payment guidelines, postpones compliance actions, and suspended most collection enforcement activities, such as new notices of lien or levy, from April 15, 2020 to July 15, 2020. Under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities, or the CARES Act, the IRS issued 161.9 million economic impact payments, or EIPs. In the first round, 122.5 million by direct deposit, 35.8 million by check, and nearly 3.6 million by debit card. Under the COVID-related tax relief, the CRTR Act of 2020, the IRS issued 146.5 million second-round EIPs, or economic impact payments, including 112.8 million by direct deposit, 25.7 million by check, and 8 million by debit card. Combined, the IRS provided $412.9 billion in relief under these programs during the calendar year. The IRS continued its operations, processing more than 240 million tax returns and collected nearly $3.5 trillion in federal taxes during the fiscal year, about 96% of federal revenue from all sources. Quote, we'll find many interesting statistics within the data book, end quote, said Rettig. Quote, but there's more to the IRS story than charts and tables. IRS employees care, and our agency is made up of people who give back to their communities and help one another. Our employees provide significant support for those devastated by hurricanes, wildfires, and other natural disasters, and across the nation, they did amazing work in their communities to help those impacted by COVID-19, end quote. The IRS data book for fiscal year 2020 comprises 33 tables describing all IRS activities from returns processed and revenue collected to numbers and amounts from examinations of returns and collection methods, as well as budget and personal information.